Hey guys, Marsegid here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be taking a look at the AGL LR Broly on the INT Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku team. Now, obviously, INT Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku is a unit that has had a bit of a rough time. He is... I mean, I guess I can't think back to like some of the really old ones, but at least in the last couple of years, he's probably the Tanabata LR that has aged the worst, right? Especially like following on from the release of Vegeta and Trunks, who when they came out, a lot of people thought they were the best unit in the game, better than the anniversary units that had released earlier in the year, and then they stayed one of the top units in the game for quite some time. Unfortunately for Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, especially on Global, he released, and then basically the hardest content available in the game, at least for Global, and then it was content that came out very soon after his release for JP, was the Worldwide Celebration Red Zone, and he was just not good in that event. He's a character that definitely needs to build up. He needs to take some hits early on when the enemy is not super strong, get into that standby with U, where he can essentially for that one turn be invincible if you get enough orbs, which is cool, and then he transforms into full power, and even then, like, he's able to hit really hard, and his defense can be good, but he can still be a little bit of a liability. So a little bit unfortunate that he has kind of dropped off a little bit, but Broly is obviously a huge buff to his team. He does give Broly the full 200% leader skill, because Full Power LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, his leader skill is Full Power or GT Heroes, and then the plus 30% is for Pure Saiyans or Hybrid Saiyans. So he does have a lot of good options on the team, and we are going to see what we can do in terms of getting a good run out of him and Broly here. Broly obviously has the ability to look good in almost any situation that we put him in. We started on with him on turn 1, which is obviously very good. That's what we want to see, so we can get the transformation as early as possible. Now, the downside, of course, is that with this team, we are... I guess it doesn't really matter too much, but like his domain only buffs extreme class allies, which on this team build, he is the only extreme unit, so he's the only one that would get a buff from his domain. But fortunately, we are doing one of the Blue Zone events. I like this Goku one. As long as you don't bring too many tech units, you don't blow through the God Goku stage, and you get a chance to actually see some of the transformations and stuff like that for your characters. So this one is a good one to do, to actually get to see some of those abilities and everything. And so we should be able to get a pretty decent performance out of him here. We do this. I brought this Gohan. He is actually supporting Broly. I think he's one of the only ones supporting Broly. But yeah, because we're fighting a Goku, it means we're not fighting an extreme enemy. So at least Broly is not buffing only himself and the boss, which is what would be the case if we were fighting an extreme class enemy. So probably not the best setup, I guess, for him, right? If you're buffing the boss that you're fighting, and then only yourself, right? Because on a normal team, like if we're running super bosses or something versus an extreme class enemy, the fact that he's buffing everyone on the team kind of makes up for the fact that he buffs the boss a little bit. Whereas here, obviously, it's on this kind of team, I mean, not just this event, but with this team, he's only buffing himself. So it's a bit awkward if you're also buffing the boss, but that's why Broly's domain is very good for all of these fights, for the Blue Zone and for like the Memorable Battles movie edition thing that's coming out soon, because you are fighting super class enemies in all of these stages. So even in this instance here, where Broly is buffing no one on the team but himself with his domain, he's not buffing the boss either, so at the end of the day, it's just extra buffs for him, which is obviously very useful. So of course this Tech Gohan's going to be the one that gets super attacked. How much is he going to take from this? 629k. But he takes double digits from a normal attack. That's crazy. Alright, so I mean, Goku will be fine in slot 1 here. I guess I could... I mean, I want to save the Scouter ability realistically, so... Fortunately, we can get a lot of same type orbs on this turn as well. Man, crazy! What a difference in like the damage and everything. He took double digits from a normal attack, but took 600k from a super. Typical that he's the one unit I threw on the team that I knew could potentially be a liability, and so of course he's the one that immediately eats a super attack here. Also, the downside with using this Super Saiyan 4 Goku is you have to take 5 hits in order to go into the standby with Oob. But like in these early stages especially, like they're not hitting loads of times in one slot, right? Some events you can jump straight into, like some of the Buu Saga Red Zone stages, and like that Goku, as long as he doesn't get that level 5 dodge go off, can get hit 5 times in like slot 1, like straight away on the first turn, which is crazy. So I think what we do here, we can't get, it's a shame that he's got like a tiny sliver of health left, because it means we can't get any extra buffs for Broly unless we put him in slot 1, but ideally we just want Goku to get another couple of hits in here, because there's 2 attacks in slot 1. Hopefully that will get him to the point where his standby is ready to go. Yes, he still takes 55k. That's because he needed to get hit again to get the extra defense. And this is a Rainbow Goku friend as well. Now, the other thing as well with mixing these kind of units, the thing about Super Saiyan 4 Goku and having those Super Saiyan 4 links is we don't really have a really good meta-relevant partner for him that has Saiyan Raw, which is obviously a very, very good link in order for getting the extra defense as well as a nice little bit of extra attack. So I think what we'll do here is we'll grab these for you. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw the item out here just because I don't want these guys throwing it for me. Because then we're actually going to get to see Broly transform on the next turn and see full power Goku and Broly together. Yes, he immediately supered in slot 1. So I think this is his turn where his buff has worn off until he gets hit again as well. So yeah, having the Whis active. Actually, I don't know. We only got the attack up icon, so maybe not. But I think my full power Goku has 2 dupes. The friend one is Rainbow. Obviously, both level 10 links. It is a little bit of a shame because this Goku, like his design is really, really cool. I think his art's cool. Like his super attack animations are good. I'm a fan of Super Saiyan 4 in general, the form. It just really is a shame, like I say at the beginning of the video, right? When you think about how well Vegeta and Trunks aged, and then this year's Tanabata unit, the Tech UI Goku, who arguably once he transforms into the silver-haired UI is like the best unit in the game. Very disappointing that this guy was kind of the blip in between those two, who ended up not being particularly good, right? So we'll go ahead and transform or I say transform, go into the standby here with Oob, and then let's see, we've got Shocking Speed and Fierce Battle. We'll get it from them as well. I think we probably want to, because we want to pick up a lot of orbs. So I think what we'll do is we'll put Broly in slot 1, because he gets a ton of extra ki as it is anyway, and he gets ki from the domain. So now we only need to grab these orbs here for him to have the full 24 ki, and then you can grab those. Obviously, it's the links suffer because we're in the Oob like portion of this card, right? Once he's actually back into being Super Saiyan 4 Goku again, the links are a little bit better. But so we'll go ahead and do this. We just want to make sure we get enough orbs during the next couple of turns so that we can actually get the full power Goku transformation. But I mean, here, even with those couple of links active only, Broly's still dropping a 17 million attack as the first attack here. Mine is 2 dupes, full level 10 links, and then the additionals are starting off at 12.1. So we're already almost at the 30 million attack stat mark with 2 supers. That's honestly one of my... I'll mention it in videos, I'm sure, more and more as we keep using Broly more and more, but just keeping track of like all of these supers he does and how much attack stat altogether it adds up to is crazy when you're thinking about the amount of damage he actually does, because we're up to, I think, like 55 now with all these extra attacks. And obviously God Goku, like I said, has massive damage reduction against non-tech enemies, so he can take it. And then, yeah, so that puts us up to like 68. On this like rotation where he's got like 3 links active: Fierce Battle, Shocking Speed, and Legendary Power, and no support, and that's what he's able to do on this turn. And then obviously with the Whis active, with the amount of defense that he gets from doing extra supers and the fact that he has guard, this will just do double-digit damage. Oob obviously can't attack, but has guard, has damage reduction of his own anyway, so with the item active he basically can't take damage anyway. And then this Goku, this AGL Carnival Goku, I'm up in the air about how well I think he's aged. Like, sometimes he can be good, because I mean, he does have guard, so sometimes he can still be quite effective. And then other times I feel like he can be really bad. So I'm going to go ahead and use this because I want to know... Okay, the super's there. Okay, so that means you should be okay in slot 1 then. I'm not able to get lots of orbs here though, which is really awkward. I think this might be... Yeah, we get to 28. Oh no, we do get to... Okay. I was going to say, for a minute then, I thought we might actually not even get the full power Goku transformation. But fortunately, we've got it timed out quite nicely. So next turn, the other Goku's going to transform into full power. And then when it comes back around to this guy, he should have been hit the 5 times now that he will be able to go into the Oob standby as well. Of course, remember, when you come out of the standby and go into full power, or even if you come out of the standby and you don't have enough orbs, you do get a heal as well. But yeah, we're observing the opponent here, get the Dragon Fist counter, which funnily enough is not going to do a lot of damage thanks to the disadvantage, the type disadvantage and the damage reduction that God Goku has. But still works out decently well. And then the GT duo, they've been kind of in limbo in this run, pretty much just floating. And I think is this the first time they've super attacked in the video? It actually might be. So they're not very built up at this point, but you know, they're not in harm's way here, and the final phase is physical, so we don't really need to worry about them too much. Obviously, they're on the team if you do get into a situation where you've lost a lot of HP and they pop up on the turn or something like that, and then obviously you're going to be able to get the revive with them, which is going to be very, very good as well. So we'll go ahead here and then unstandby the Goku. So we are looking at, what has he got here? 200. See, this is the problem. 264k defense. He has guard, and then what is his damage reduction in slot 1? It's 25% if he's in slot 1, and then it's like 25% base, right? Where is it? Okay, where is his damage reduction? Super... Yeah, 25%, and then an additional 25% in slot 1, which means in slot 1 he has 50% damage reduction, but that's not really a lot when the boss is potentially doing the kind of damage that this Goku can do with a super in slot 1. I'm just going to hope that he isn't going to super in slot 1, because we did get... The super was in like the middle of the turn last time. I'm not sure what his actual delay is for supering, but... Well, there's the dodge anyway. So, full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku. He's not getting support from Gohan, because Gohan only supports AGL, Tech, and Physical. So, full power Goku linked up with Broly, 17 million attack stat, and he does get a guaranteed crit. So, I mean, Goku can look decent next to Broly. It's funny when you think about how, obviously, Broly is going to be dropping probably more than 17 as his first attack, and then do a whole bunch of extra ones as well. Whereas Goku, unfortunately, he can do an additional. We did an additional normal, but he doesn't have anything in his passive to sort of facilitate that. And then, yeah, Broly coming in at 22 here from the support from that Super Saiyan 2 Gohan being in slot 2. So, yeah, Broly, I mean, I think it's one of those things. I'm just trying out a bunch of different teams with these videos to try and see, like, what other team builds we can use Broly and Gogeta on. To just have fun with them and get some good performance out of them. But I think it's like, the more I use Broly, the more it's like, you could just put any team that you can run him on. Like, he's going to do well on that team. He doesn't need tons of links active, and he doesn't need tons of support. Like, obviously his base form is not as good as the transformed state, but as long as you don't put him in slot 1 against these big bosses, like, he's able to do very, very well. And then once he transforms, like, the amount of damage that he's able to just put out in one turn is definitely very, very good. And then this Gohan in slot 3, at least we have the type advantage. Did a little bit of extra damage because he's a tech unit, but there we go. And then we can get the standby with you. Change some orbs. Change an orb, I guess. So grab these. I mean, I guess we might as well just chuck this out as well. Because, you know, it does some pretty crazy damage. We'll go ahead and do this, and then grab all of those. So we're definitely set up for the standby for you. Super in slot 1. Hey, look at this. See, this is the thing with Oob. I mean, yeah, Oob can negate certain supers as well. Like, the Oob standby is still very, very good. And he changes orbs, and every type orb you pick up, you get 10% damage reduction, on top of him having guard and really high defense for one turn. I say really high, but decently high defense for one turn. So the orb change can definitely screw you over if you get a bad one, but if you get a really good orb change, like if you pick up 10 type orbs, he is invincible because he gets 100% damage reduction. But then even if you're picking up like 7, 8 or 9, like you get enough damage reduction with the defense that he has that he's able to eat some of these attacks like really, really well. So definitely very good. And then after the first turn, when you've been hit and gotten some of your buffs, this guy's now at 750k defense with 50% damage reduction in slot 1. So that is really, really good. So I think we probably will be finishing this guy off here, despite him taking less damage from non-tech units. 17 mil from full power Goku again here. So like the rotation of him and BROLY definitely can work. I think he's on... Actually, what's BROLY's leader skill again? And he's not on BROLY. He's not on BROLY's 170 at all, is he? Let's double check. Because BROLY is what? Super bosses, transformation boost. It's not full. Oh, it is full. Yeah, it is full power. Of course it is. So yeah, Goku's on BROLY's 170, but he doesn't get his full 200. And I feel like, you know, as we've said, with the way Goku has aged, you're probably not going to want to be running him only under a 170 lead. But yeah, it's just kind of an awkward... Goku's design is awkward because they basically made it so that you really want to put him in slot 1. Like getting the extra defense and the extra 25% damage reduction in slot 1 essentially means like that's where you want to put him. But his start of turn defense isn't high enough that if you put him in slot 1 and then he starts taking super attacks from some of these big bosses, he just gets killed, which is why he was basically no good in the Dismal Future Red Zone, because so many of those stages, the bosses are hitting really, really hard with their super attacks and were very often super attacking you in slot 1. So you take Goku's team into that event, put him in slot 1, and then he just gets immediately supered and you die. Which was very annoying, especially for Global, like we said, with him coming out after the worldwide celebration, which means he basically released into a meta where he just wasn't good against the toughest content in the game. And of course on JP, not long after his release, they brought out the Omega event, which he was really good in, but that didn't come out on Global for months. And like what was it, February, I think, that it came out on Global. So unfortunately for this guy, he just had a really unfortunate time in terms of like release schedule and everything, which is a shame because obviously he is a cool looking unit. Parts of his design are very cool. The Oob standby is still very useful even now, but yeah, unfortunately he just got kind of lost in the shuffle a little bit, which is unfortunate. So I think we'll end it off here. The final phase against the Super Saiyan Goku is I mean, look at that KO screen as well, very cool. But yeah, the final phase against the Super Saiyan Goku is not really anything crazy that we need to worry about. Although, of course, he has type disadvantage. We've got 600k defense. I mean, he could literally get supered in slot 1 here and get killed, potentially. I'm actually not sure what kind of damage he would take from a super from this physical Goku in slot 1. But yeah, he's not getting supered first. After he's supered, he gets a lot of extra defense as well. So with that 50% damage reduction in slot 1 and the post-super defense, I think one of the things he could have really benefited from, which I know he has a standby already as well, but like once he goes into full power, him having an active skill that is actually an attack, so then he gets his like on super defense buff or something, because then if you could use it literally on the turn he comes out as full power as well, then you get the Oob standby, which is still very good defensively. Then he transforms into full power, and then you can do the active skill. And so then on that first turn, he's in slot 1, but like with high defense and the damage reduction. Then I think he could probably still be good now. You'd still have to be careful with like the first form before you go into the standby. But I think that could be quite effective for making him significantly better, but unfortunately he's dropped off a little bit. BROLY is a good buff for his team. Like more characters come out that are full power all the time. The physical Blue Kaioken Goku and Blue Evolution Vegeta are going to get their Easy A soon, and they're on his 200% leader skill as well. So they'll be a very, very good option for a full power team. So let me know what you guys think of LR Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku down below in the comments. I mean, there's no denying that he hasn't aged super well, but you can make him work in some events still. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.